Now this is a follow-on from my video of yesterday, in which I pointed out the two different ways that somebody with bad intents can censor somebody else on this site by either targeting them with false DMCAs or targeting them with false flags on their videos. And I pointed out at the end of the video that it is time for us to bring this issue into the real world. Here is what I actually mean by that. I'm going to elaborate on that now, because we are being overtaken by events here. I would have loved to have put in a bit more groundwork, to have taken this a little bit easier and presented you with something more complete, but instead you're going to get a rough idea, and I'm going to ask people to help. I need people, we need people, because it's not just me. The other person involved in this is Frank, Cypher's son, and we want to take this into a completely new arena, because the arenas that have been tried so far aren't working, are not going to get us the satisfaction that we want from YouTube, because YouTube are hiding. YouTube are hiding from the people who are posting the content on their site. They are making themselves completely non-responsive. They are completely unapproachable. You cannot get through to a human being within YouTube to air your grievances. And that is completely unacceptable. But the two avenues that have been tried so far are dead ends. The legal avenue doesn't work, because YouTube have very cleverly ensured that when it comes to dealing with false DMCAs, they have got all their legal bases covered. Now, I have posted videos in the past telling you what you can do when you file your counterclaim to ensure that you can get your hands on the personal details of the person who made the original claim, or if they are not willing to cooperate and they continue to hide in anonymity, at least give YouTube the ammunition to say this claim was clearly false and reinstate your account. But in the end, the only thing you can legally really do is to respond to the claim that was being made. And the claim was being made by the person who is trying to censor your views. A lot of people here make a lot of videos about how badly YouTube deals with DMCAs, but in all fairness, when you want to respond to a DMCA claim, you have to take action against the person making the claim. It is pointless taking action against YouTube, because first of all, they've got their ass completely covered, and secondly, they are not the originators of the claim. They are not the people you should be dealing with. I was delighted to see yesterday that Kotlin666, Richard, has finally decided to take legal action against scumbag who has been filing DMCAs against his videos. And I hope you have his guts for garters. I hope you bleed the fucker dry, Richard, because that's what he deserves. Plus, we need to make an example of one of these imbeciles, because what they are doing is breaking the law. But like I said, the only person you can possibly take any action against is the false DMCAer. Now, YouTube could improve their processes here. They could make it a little bit easier for you to get your hands on the details of the person filing the false DMCA. Like I pointed out in my other video, you have to go around the houses and very clearly state your intent, that you intend to sue the person making the claim, that you demand that you get their personal details, and so on and so forth, that your personal details should not be forwarded to them by any means other than something that's verifiable, such as, for example, registered post. But you have to demand these things as you're making your counterclaim. Otherwise, YouTube can just email your counterclaim back to an anonymous email address. and they will have done what the law required. The other thing, of course, is how YouTube can hide behind its terms of service, because they never, ever discuss their terms of services with anybody. When your videos get flagged, an automated process suspends you or even terminates your account, and you will never be able to speak to a human being in order to get your grievance addressed. And that, of course, is again a huge problem. But again, there's nothing you can do. We've tried it, haven't we? We have posted the videos. We have mirrored the videos. We have pleaded with YouTube. We've sent the emails. All we get from them is stony silence. And that's why I am suggesting now that we should take this into the real world, where things cannot be ignored or deleted or sent to the recycle bin. We should make it so that every day the employees of YouTube travel to work, they are confronted with our displeasure, and they cannot pretend it isn't there, because it will be there. We have to, of course, stay within the limits of the law. We cannot accuse YouTube of anything, but we can point out the blatantly obvious, that somebody's account can be destroyed with a few simple clicks, and it doesn't take much, and there are no questions asked, because that is a reality on this site. So this is why we are suggesting this particular course of action. But we need, obviously, some finance for this. And this is where I need some suggestions, need some help, need some ideas from people. How do we set this up? Do we set this up as a charity? Do we set this up as a non-profit organization? What is the best approach here? How do we get the revenue to put these billboards out there in the real world where they cannot be ignored? How do we go about this? Suggestions are welcome. What do we do with the money if there is money left over at the end? Do we give it to a charity, for example? Obviously, there is no way on earth anybody on this side, me, Frank, or anybody else, can make any profit out of this. This has to be purely for the sake of forcing YouTube to reconsider its abominable customer service. Please let me know what you think.